Today we're talking about the case of the Bridgeport Beauty, also known as Lauren Smithfields. Lauren was born January 23rd, 1998. Unfortunately, Lauren passed away December 12th, 2021. On December 12th, Lauren Smithfield was found dead in her Bridgeport, Connecticut apartment, yet police did not notify her family of her death. The family said once they reached out to the detective, he confirmed that Lauren had passed away and she had met a man through a dating app known as Bumble. Once her family found out about the man, they asked the detective about the man who Lauren met through the dating app, but the family said the detective's response was shocking. When asked, the officer said that he was a really nice guy and they weren't looking into him anymore. It was like they were sticking up for him and it seemed weird. Fields allegedly died of acute intoxication due to combined effects of fentanyl, promethazine, hydroxine, and alcohol, according to the medical examiner's office. Her death is being ruled an accident. With an exclusive interview with Complex Magazine, Chantel, Lauren's mother, and Lakeem, her brother, shared details about Lauren's case, starting with what happened on December 29th when they were asked to give their DNA to authorities. The more the Smithfield family fights, the more they get nervous and scared. The day that the family was there at Lauren's house, they wanted a swab of everyone. And this is the mother again speaking. She's quoted as saying, "We were like, wait, shouldn't you be worried about two people that were there that night?" And Detective Garcia told us that if we didn't give him a swab, then we won't continue the investigation, Lauren's mother said. Her brother added that the crime scene investigator and detective told the family that they wanted our DNA to rule us out. The family did not provide the DNA or consent to any swabs. On January 23rd, when Lauren would have turned 24, her family organized a march in Bridgeport that attracted local and national attention. A large protest that needed to be had based on the circumstances of this case. Now, the mayor released a statement. "I would like to restate the city's condolences to the family and friends of Lauren Smithfield and to the many caring individuals who have reached out seeking answers for Lauren. I recognize that the family and the community is experiencing a lot of pain because of the loss of a young woman, in addition to unanswered questions and concerns about the way the matter has been handled. First and foremost, sensitivity and care is of the utmost importance when working with the family of a victim. There is no tolerance for anything less than respect and sensitivity for family members and their loss. To that end, this matter has been referred to the Office of Internal Affairs to conduct a full and fair investigation. Secondly, I share concerns echoed by many about the amount of time and manner a family is informed of a loss. Death notification should be done in a manner that illustrates dignity for the deceased and respect and compassion for the family. Therefore, I will work with the Chief of Police to make appropriate changes here in Bridgeport. Now, for our department's policies and practices regarding notifying families of a death. I support and add my voice to the family, community, and elected officials who are calling for state legislation on this issue. Finally, I have contacted the state medical examiner to request assistance in expediting this matter so that the investigation can proceed, and detectives may provide a comprehensive report to the family and parents of Lauren Smithfield. I offer my support in bringing closure to the family during this terrible tragedy." Now, I want to just talk for a minute without reading anything that I have prepared or any of the research that I've gathered. Long story short, she met a dude on a dating app. They linked up. Allegedly, he said, well, there was somebody had cash on them, about $1,300. He said that she told him something like, "Bring $40 with you to get my nails done." someone was doing drugs. He alludes to the fact that she went into the bathroom for about 10 minutes, but it's also confirmed that her brother had came by the house and actually saw the man there. So her brother was there at least for a short period of time picking up something while this man is there. Now they spoke to the man. The man has an attorney. He's allegedly cooperating. This case is scary. This case makes you rethink a lot of things, including online dating and how you get to meet people. Now, we're going to get into some clips. The first clip I want to show you is when I researched Bumble and what it is, because I didn't know. This is how it's described.
30, I'm Kevin Nathan. A Bridgeport family is still looking for answers after their daughter was found dead inside her apartment nearly a month ago. NBC Connecticut's Dominique Moody spoke with the family and their attorney. Dominique joins us live now from Bridgeport. Dominique?
Kevin, hurt and anger, the best way to describe the emotions from Lauren Smithfield's family. You can see right here, there's still a growing memorial for her. And we know that the family is still calling for justice, and they are still asking police for answers after they continue to deal with the loss of their loved one.
I see her in everything I do. Everything I do, I see her.
Chantel Fields and her family are still overcome with emotion a month after their daughter and sister, Lauren Smith Fields, was found inside her Bridgeport apartment.
I literally have PTSD when I see other beautiful black women because of my sister and what happened to her.
Before her death, Lauren was a student at Norwalk Community College and had her own business. The family says on December 13th, that all changed when they learned she died. Bridgeport police say they received a call about an untimely death on December 12th and found Lauren's body inside her apartment. The family says they found out about her death through the landlord. They say they had to contact police to get answers about Lauren's case, but say after they continued to inquire about the investigation, they say they started having issues with the detective on the case.
He told me directly on the phone, stop calling me, and hung up in my face.
Right? Exactly.
Like, just total disrespect.
Exactly.
Our family's going through grief.
The way how they talked to me, the way how they talked to my family, the way how they treated my daughter. They treated her like she was nobody, like she was not important.
Since those issues, the family has hired attorney Darnell Crossland in an effort to get answers and justice for Lauren.
We want an independent investigation by an independent state agency or federal agency to look into this. And we want DOJ, like in D.C., when they have to step in and deal with Mike Brown.
In a statement to NBC Connecticut, the city's police department says the Bridgeport Police Department offers its sincerest condolences to the family and friends of Miss Lauren Smith. We encourage anyone with any information to contact police. The family and attorneys say they saw that message, but want to know what happened to Lauren.
We want justice. We want answers. Yeah. I mean, whatever happened that night, we want to know. And we want to feel like that they care as much as we care.
I never get to touch her again. It's deplorable how they treated us. I don't get back my daughter.
We did reach out to Connecticut's medical examiner about Lauren's cause of death, and they tell us, quote, her cause of death is pending further studies. Now, the family says they paid their own money for an independent autopsy and are awaiting those results. Police say this investigation is still active, and coming up at 5:30, we hear from the family and hear what police told them about the men they suspect may have met Lauren the day before she passed away. We're live in Bridgeport. Dominique Moody, NBC Connecticut News.
New this morning, for the first time, we're hearing from Bridgeport Mayor Joe Ganim about the death of Lauren Smith Fields. The 23-year-old woman died 2 weeks before Christmas after a meeting with an older man arranged through a dating app. The Lawrence family has been critical of the Bridgeport Police Department's handling of the case. They have filed a lawsuit. Mayor Ganim released a statement saying sensitivity and care is of utmost importance when working with the family of a victim. He goes on to say, in part, I will work with the chief of police to make appropriate changes here in Bridgeport now for our department's policies and practices regarding notifying family members of a death. I have contacted the state medical examiner to request assistance in expediting this matter so that the investigation can proceed, and detectives may provide a comprehensive report to the family and parents of Lauren Smith Fields.
On behalf of the LaFontaine family, we want to express our sincerest condolences to the Lawrence Smithfield's family for this tragedy that took place.
Attorney Peter Karianis keeping his comments conciliatory and low-key. He's spokesman for Matthew LaFountain of Milford, who police say is not a suspect in the untimely death of 23-year-old Lauren Smith Fields. Authorities say she died after meeting up with LaFountain 2 weeks before Christmas, the pair having connected on the dating app Bumble.
It's killing me inside.
It's a story News 12 Connecticut broke December 22nd.
As we heard yesterday, the toxicologist reported this as an accidental overdose.
At a rally in Bridgeport Sunday, which would have been Lauren's 24th birthday,
But this is what nice people look like.
marchers singling out LaFountain, demanding to know if he played any role in her death. The medical examiner later revealing Lauren died from a toxic combination of fentanyl and alcohol, due, police say, to an accidental overdosage.
There has been so much anger directed at your client, and he has become a point of focus in a contentious national debate. How do you respond to that?
Well, I think it's the media that's made him the main focus of this investigation. Although Bridgeport police did investigate the matter, he did fully cooperate, and he's not the main focus of the investigation anymore. As we know, the DEA is involved now, and they will help local authorities investigate the matter and get to the bottom of what happened to Lauren.
It is not natural.
But supporters, led by the family's attorney, Darnell Crossland, say evidence from bloody bed sheets to a semen-filled condom was compromised due to an inadequate response by the Bridgeport Police Department, a department they're suing, saying it's been racially insensitive from the outset. A detective allegedly telling Lauren's mom at one point to stop calling. But Kariana says LaFountain had nothing to do with Lauren's death. And Kariana says while his client's been widely portrayed on social media as being a married man in his 50s, in fact, he is 37 years old and single.
Lauren's family has gone through so much pain, so much grief. Is there anything you'd like to say to them on behalf of your client?
Yes, we will continue to cooperate with the authorities to help definitively determine what happened to Lauren on that evening, and we want her family to find some peace after this heartbreaking loss.
In Bridgeport, Frank Recchia, News 12.
Okay, let's take a look at this police report. It says the reporting officer was dispatched at 33 Plymouth Street on a report of a non-responsive female. Medics and fire were dispatched as well. Upon arrival, a knock on the door was answered by a frantic man, later identified as blacked out. He directed me to the rear of the apartment to a bedroom. There I observed a young adult black female laying on her back on the floor. She had dried blood in and around her right nostril. She did not appear to be breathing. He told me that the person on the phone, EOS call taker, instructed him to do chest compressions. He picked up his phone and asked if he should keep doing them. He was trembling and visibly shaking. The call taker told him to hang up and speak with me. I told him the medics were on the way and their sirens could be heard in the distance. I asked what her name was and he replied Lauren. When asked for her last name, he said he wasn't sure, but her Instagram page says it is Smith. He stated that he has only known her for 3 days and came here for the first time last night. They met on the dating site Bumble. Fire and medics arrived on the scene and began life-saving efforts for Lauren. When asked, Blank stated that after meeting on Bumble, he found out they had a mutual friend via Instagram and they began to chat there. She invited him over for a date, asking him to give her $40 to get her nails done and to bring a bottle of tequila. He said he arrived at her home at approximately 21:30 hours and tried to contact her via Instagram call twice, but she did not answer. He said that he does not have any direct contact information for her and only ever contacts her via Instagram. Thinking he was stood up, he left. But Lauren called him to come back a short time late, saying she didn't answer his call because she was putting on her makeup. He went on to say that they began drinking shots of tequila and Lauren became ill. She went to the bathroom to vomit and was apologetic when she returned. They then decided to drink tequila with mixers. They played some games, ate some food, and started to watch a movie. Lauren was texting with someone and then told him that her brother was going to be dropping something off to her. She went outside for a few minutes. He never saw the brother. When she came back in, she went straight to the bathroom and she stayed in there for approximately 10 to 15 minutes. He thought it was odd, but didn't feel it was his place to say anything as he didn't know her that well. They continued to watch the movie and finished a bottle of tequila, Casamigos. Lauren fell asleep on the couch. So he carried her to her bedroom and laid her in her bed. He then laid down next to her and fell asleep. He woke up at approximately 0300 hours to use the bathroom and Lauren was snoring. He woke up again at approximately 6:30 a.m. and she was laying on her right side. Blood was coming out of her right nostril onto the bed and she was not breathing. That is when he called 911. The paramedics pronounced her dead at 6:49. He told me that she has been dead at least an hour or more. He's given a written field statement as to his accounts of the events of the agent. The police officer says he notified Sergeant DeBarros and requests the Detective Bureau Supervisor be notified via dispatch. Sergeant DeBarros arrived shortly thereafter. I contacted State Medical Examiner Jacqueline Messerol. It says they found the U.S. passport identifying Lauren as Miss Lauren Smithfield, male with the same name, a MasterCard with that name, and $1,345 in cash. There was a cell phone on the couch that identified as Mrs. Smithfield's phone. There was also some mail to Miss Stephanie Green and Mr. Brian Green. Sergeant Morales and Detective Cronin arrived at 8:12 a.m. The medical examiner arrived shortly thereafter. The police officer says he made contact with Hector Torres. He is the landlord and lives on the second floor. He said that Miss Smithfield has lived there for almost a year. He knows that her mother stops by occasionally, but he doesn't know her and has no contact information for her. He was issued a complaint service form and asked to give it to Miss Smithfield's mother the next time he sees her. Detective Cronin gave Mr. Torres his contact information before he and Sergeant Morales left the scene. The medical examiner informed me that a trade service would be coming to retrieve the body before she left the scene. After the body was removed, I located a key that fit the front door lock. I made sure all windows and doors were secure and all lights were off and locked, both locks on the front door when I left. Miss Smithfield's money, key, passport, MasterCard, and cell phone were all turned into the property room for safekeeping and further investigation. The written field statement and the removal authorization form were turned into the record room, and copies of these forms are attached to this report. Okay, this is a lot. I don't know how I feel about this. Okay, so let's speak frank. It's given the impression that this man in question is trying to make it seem like that Lauren's brother stopped by the house, possibly gave her some sort of drugs, opioids. She came back into the house, went into the bathroom, took the drugs, chilled with him for a while, passed out, and died. Long story short, that's what he's given. Now, there is an internal affairs investigation. There are reports that the police chief and the internal affairs investigator, like the head of the internal investigators, were actually in an affair. So now there's another investigation into that because they don't know if the investigation can be done properly, if the two people are sleeping together. It's also insinuated that this man has friends or connections with the police officers, and as a matter of fact, one of the police officers that arrived on the scene are his friends. Obviously, her mother and her family is upset. I hope that her brother didn't sell her any drugs or give her any drugs that ended up being the cause of her death, because he is going to have to live with that if that's what happened. But if this man, who the media tried to make it seem like was older, now granted, she's 23, he's 37. So that is 14 years? So he is older than her, but he is not old. He's 37 years old, and I'm not going to sit here as a person and let anyone try to make it seem like someone 37 years old is old, because that's not the case. There is a lot going on, and it's not just about how the police handled it. Apparently, if there is no law on the books that a next of kin has to be notified, then you won't be notified. So make sure you're checking up on your friends and family and loved one, so that way people don't think they can play around with your kinfolk like this young lady was played with. As far as the lawyer, I think his lawyer is new to this case, so he doesn't know anything more than what he was told. The police officers involved who did not notify the family, they were suspended. Like I said, there is an investigation. They're also appealing that suspension. The police union is fighting that now. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't know what to say about this case. It's very scary. All I'm saying is it's very scary. I know that Casamigos is a strong drink. I know that that's the new, it's not new, but I know that's the hot drink everybody's drinking, and it does get you turned. But I don't see a strange man who I don't know, who I've only been talking to for a few days, watching me get so sick and vomiting. He still wants to stay. The brother and the mother state that they found a used condom and something else at the house. So you had sex with her, you're admitting this, with a woman who was so drunk she was throwing up. That's probably too impaired to legally consent, and that's not it. He was never taken to the police station or for further questioning, not cross examination, but he was never questioned at the police station for any of this when it first happened. I don't know if it's typical for a medical examiner to leave a body just laying on the floor where it was at and go about their business. Every single thing about this case just seems not what we're accustomed to. No, most of us aren't professionals. We don't know everything and all the procedures. But I mean, I feel like certain stuff should be just commonplace. Notifying the next of kin. If you're a police officer, maybe you want to recuse yourself, let your sergeant and your chief know, hey, I'm friends with this guy, so I don't know if I should do this investigation. It could come off that I'm not being fair. I think that police unions who have officers reinstated, if those officers do anything after that, should be financially responsible. I don't know what the app that she met this man on is about. I showed y'all a clip of the description of it in Google, Bumble, but needless to say, I won't be using it. It just doesn't, it doesn't sit right in my spirit at this point. Also, did the police ever investigate if the friend he said they had was mutual was actually real? Because when you're on Instagram, you have so many people following you and not following you. A lot of people don't know all the people who are they're friends with on Instagram. For whatever reason, someone chooses to follow another person and now they're followed. I just really hope that this isn't everything that I wasn't told about as a young girl and stranger danger and online dating. I honestly, I do hope that it was an accidental overdose or heart attack, but they classify this as acute asphyxiation. Acute asphyxiation. So, like, I don't know. I don't know. They had fentanyl. First of all, fentanyl, I don't know much about it, but from what I know, it's crazy. Promethazine and hydroxine. And so that man had none of that on him. Did they search him? Did he provide like, I don't know. I feel bad for this mother. She had a beautiful young lady of a daughter. She seemed like all around a charismatic person just from her pictures. There are some videos that people are alleging that is of Lauren. I did not choose to put them in this video because I haven't identified if that's truly her or not, and I don't want to go down that road. I am personally gonna call her the Bridgeport Beauty. She's not the black female found on her back with blood down her right nostril. She is the Bridgeport Beauty. I feel sorry for her brother Lakeem. especially if there was nothing nefarious going on when he stopped by his sister's house, because this man is making it seem like all you needed was $40, a bottle of liquor, and it was good to go. Which is weird because how was it $40 but she had $1,345 on her? Now, granted, I'm always willing to take somebody else's money if they giving it, so I get that he could have. It just, I don't know. It seemed like they're trying to cheapen her, and I think that's what's wrong, rubbing people the wrong way. It also seems like the mayor does not want any trouble from this, and he doesn't want this to get any bigger than it can, and so he's going to try to rectify this immediately. But Lawrence Smithfield isn't the only black woman to die in that county, to deal with that police department, and to be done wrong. We're going to talk about another woman, but we're going to give her her own video. This is just a part one because this is still an ongoing investigation. If you have any tips, any questions, feel free to email me at slumsradio@gmail.com. You can also find me on Instagram at slumsradio. Feel free to follow, subscribe, like, and share this video. I appreciate you guys for taking some time to listen to me. I don't know how to approach this because I kind of identify with her, except for I'm a little older. Very scary. Hold your children tight, kiss them, and, tell them you love them because you never know. You never know when it's going to be your last day. You never know how you're going to go.